economic development, and she focuses primarily in the Las Colinas area. What we want to do today is just run through real quickly and give you some of the updates of new projects that are going on in Irving.
Yeah. Okay. I think so. Good morning. We have a PowerPoint just that recaps some of the projects that are going on and have been mainly because of the DART rail. Irving has given 1% to DART from the beginning of DART almost, and some cities haven't done that. Some cities use their extra 1% for economic development, but we're finally glad to see our 1% going to good use and finally bringing the orange line to the airport. You can see that we coincide with the green line until it gets past Love Field to Bachman Station, and then we split off from the green line, and then we're the orange line coming all the way to the airport. And so we will be the largest transit-oriented development in the nation. We'll have 8 stations. We have 6 immediate and 2 deferred. We may be deferring a few more if we upgrade some of our stations, which we want to do that in Las Colinas. One more click, Don, you can see that little side a little bit better. The first route coming out of Bachman Station, we come around Spur 482 and come by Texas Stadium. Texas Stadium's 82 acres. I know everybody's heard the news about what we're going to do with Texas Stadium and implosion that's going to happen in March.
March or April.
March or April. We want to do it on a very non-windy day and quiet. That's the 3rd busiest intersection in the Metroplex. You have a lot of cars that go by there and a lot of traffic, so we'll have to do it at a quiet time. And I think we estimated at $11 million to inflate it. We've actually been letting TxDOT stage their equipment there, which we're making money every month that'll help pay for it. Any profits that we have will go to the local charities. A lot of the charities that were benefiting from the Cowboys games that were there have lost money since Jerry moved to Arlington, and so that will be a nice occasion for the community. And a lot of attention to what's going to happen there next. You can see that we have 3 million square feet potential. We only had 8 games a year there when the Cowboys played there. Still going to have their corporate headquarters with us, and they still have their workout facility. Has that been rebuilt?
I don't believe so.
A collapsed workout facility. I want to talk about that. But along the route, the next station, the first one is deferred because we've got so much construction work to go on around Texas Stadium. We've got $500 million worth of traffic updates and road construction to do around Texas Stadium. So coming up, that station will be built later. Coming up 114, you will see on this site here 52 acres that Tanger Outlet Mall is under contract with. They just extended their contract on that. As we know, the retail world is not really pretty right now, but Tanger is a great, you can look them up, publicly traded company who have absolutely no debt, and that was true when they announced this project. But they have canceled some of their other projects. This is not one they've canceled. They'll have a train stop all the way from Dallas, coming through Dallas to the airport and have a stop, so it's pretty no-brainer. You can see by the picture down here that they're going to do more of a South Lake Town Center, putting the parking on the exterior instead of the interior and bringing it upscale. We've talked about having an everyday type store like Target in among it so that it's not just this one-time trip to the outlet mall that you do once a year. So I think we're going to get a lot of activity, and it's a great location. Texas Stadium, okay, this is, what do we have this? We went backwards?
Oh.
That's what we did. I think I said this. I'm blind, but I think I remember saying that.
Operator error.
It's usually me, operator error. Okay, one more. Okay, BNSF line, we talk about this just because it comes together in the urban center. There's going to be a multimodal station. But this is an existing rail line that is there. Right-of-ways are done. A lot of the miraculous things that take so much work to do for putting in a railway. It's in place. It's now a freight line, and it'll become a commuter line. Some of these other cities, the Colony and Frisco, Farmers Branch, they have not put money into DART, and so why this is good for us, it brings workforce to our corporate headquarters and to you small businesses. So that's going to be someday we won't have 10% unemployment, and we will be searching for employees, and so it's a good thing. DART owns part of that line, so they're very interested in moving that up in their 2030 plan, so moving it forward. I know a lot of you see this little rail track in the urban center. It's our APT, the area people mover or people transit, personal transit. 960 acres is what Mr. Carpenter originally put in the urban center, and he put this is the same builder of the Skylink in the airport. So Mr. Carpenter did a very quality transit system. He was way ahead of his time, but that's going to actually connect all of those properties in the urban center, which we have 7.5 million square feet of office space now, 20,000 people that live there. So you're connecting that to the DART rail when it comes through the urban center. So that's a really big advantage for us. And that's one thing the city did too, is give an extra $60 million worth of property for right-of-way to make sure that Irving came directly through Irving and not around us. So here is the stations are coming up. You see them pop up. The first one is that multimodal. We talked about BNSF coming through. What it does is come off this direction, and so people that are coming from Frisco could actually come in here and connect and go to the airport. So you've got a lot of connection there. The first one we've got the connection to the APT is where the Las Colinas Urban Center Station connects. And then the second one you've got up here, the Convention Center Station. We'll talk about that in a minute. These are some corporate wins that we've had. Sprint and BlackBerry occupy this space here. Research in Motion is the company that makes BlackBerries. They announced that they're moving their headquarters, their U.S. headquarters to Irving, and they moved in about 2 years ago and then purchased the building a year ago. So Sprint is subleasing or is leasing from that building, but they'll probably take up the whole building once Sprint expires. And so you see a lot of corporate headquarters are doing things. ESPN moved from Arlington Stadium into one of our buildings, and Pioneer did a 10-year lease for 260,000 square feet last year. So we've had some corporate wins. Even though the economy seems dreary, we've got a lot of good things going in Irving. This is some of the multifamily. One of the things that we did when we made an arrangement with DART was guarantee them ridership. And one of the things, too, that we want in the urban center is walkability. And people want a place where they can live, work, play. And you may have seen in the paper last week that there's a $2.2 million that the city is financing to do a promenade around the lake. Promenade means a walking path for me. And so basically you'll be able to get, if you live on the lake, you'll be able to get your dogs out, walk all the way around the lake, and have a really neat area. Besides that, you've got the Campion Trail over here, 26 miles of trail along the Trinity River. So a lot of amenities for people to live in the urban center, and these are some of the multifamily units that have come along, and they're very, a lot of amenities with these. They're expensive. They're $2 a square foot almost, and the occupancies are way above the state norm, and Texas is above the national norm. You see that you've got some stations there for DART. You can go forward one more, and then this is the residential for purchase, and I think Donna will highlight those areas if you got like 3 clicks. I've made this a lot more complicated than it needs to be probably, but you can see that piece of land that's directly across from Williams Square, Palladium USA. This is their 4th project in Irving, and Palladiums are a little hard to finance right now. Condominiums are a little hard to finance right now, so their projects are going to be a little bit delayed, but they've got all the plans. And to have a high-rise residential on the lake, you don't see that in this area very often, so I think they're going to be amazingly successful. Lincoln has opened their phase 1. They've got their suites. I think Don's trying to hurry me. Lakes of Las Colinas, we've got, those are underway. I think they were about 20% complete. Those are $1 million houses. They're going to be gated. And in fact, I think we're having something there in their model homes. So it'll be interesting to see how gorgeous they are on the inside. Darling, I think, is one of the builders who at Highland Homes. So they've got some real quality builders out there. But one of the good things, and Don and I talked about this yesterday with someone, is when corporate headquarters move, they move a lot of times based on where the CEO lives and how close it is for him. Be darned where everybody else has to drive from. But do what? His home. Or her. Sorry. Thank you. I'm sexist. But anyway, I think a lot of times that should be our incentive, is just to buy the CEO a home, and then he's going to be there for at least 4 or 5 years, at least. So, but this gives us some corporate housing opportunities that we haven't had.